My goal today is to really hopefully encourage you, inspire you, and most importantly help you maybe find a couple of things you can walk out of here with today and go, you know what, I'm going to go put that to work for me right now. And so don't miss what we're going to be talking about. I'm a strategy guy, and so this whole thing is coming from, if those of you, anybody read Blue Ocean Strategy? It's a great book. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it. I'm an old positioning marketer, and so for me, Blue Ocean is kind of the new version of positioning. And there's another great book by Trout and Reese called Positioning: The Battle for Your Mind. Highly recommend that one as well. So remember the good old days when there was a prize inside and only 3 TV networks, 1 or 2 newspapers, a couple of radio stations. It was so easy then, wasn't it? Really, it wasn't. It was very, very difficult. It was complex. It was expensive. There was limited amount of time available for marketers. And, you know, you had to go buy your access. And if you didn't buy your access, either with a lot of people on the street or a lot of media dollars, it was tough to get your business out. It was tough to get your message out, especially those of you that are sole proprietors and you're the individual. And I also noticed that we have a lot of people suffering from the music disease in the room, which those are lone wolf positions. So it was very, very difficult if you were the sole operator. Today, the world's at your fingers. This is both the good news and the bad news, because this is now the cacophony that exists out there. And now the opportunity, and what was the opportunity, is now inverted, and you can now suffer from massive overload. And you can diffuse yourself, and you can dilute yourself to where you are now ineffective or chasing something. And what I find now, earlier we were talking, and somebody had mentioned, yeah, I'm working with, you said sports and entertainment, and I'm trying to get them into social media. I'm trying to get them in, and they're either mentally checked out, afraid of it, don't understand it, don't know where to go with it, and don't know what to do with it. Well, the good news is that the fundamental principles of marketing, the motivations, the buying habits, and those, they have not changed. I mean, basically, we are still markets, as there were markets 100 years ago, where you go down and buy your produce. The fundamentals haven't changed, but some of the sophistications have. So the goal today is to kind of simplify this and show you how it's not something to be afraid of. And if you'll use your God-given talents of enthusiasm, some marketing, and some sales efforts, you can be very, very successful. Because you're surrounded by insurmountable opportunity. That's the problem that all that congestion creates. And the interesting thing about Blue Ocean Strategy is it talks about moving into uncontested space. And I'm going to develop that and unpack it a little bit for you. Because if you can create uncontested space, you are then in what's called open water. And this is where the Blue Ocean concept comes from. And so you have to find a uniqueness about yourself that differentiates you from what's called the red ocean of competition. Many pizza companies get themselves into the red ocean of competition. And what do? They coupon, coupon, coupon. Okay, that's their form of competition. What you want to do is, in creating this uncontested space, you're going to make your competition irrelevant. You're going to partition yourself off from competition, so you are now standing alone. Now, for those of you that are in unique business environments, and I heard several very unique business propositions as we went around the room. You know, Lynn is doing something Lynn and I have met before. I've taken a look at her business. She's doing something very, very unique. Now, you have almost an inverted problem then in Blue Ocean Strategy, because you are now an island. And your challenge is now, how do I make myself relevant in this uncontested market space, because now I am an island and I'm orphaned. And so I've actually created today a case model. Instead of giving you flybys on a half dozen different, I'm going to take you through the specific development of one case that is a very unique proposition. You're going to create and capture new demand by doing this, okay? and you're going to identify prospects and bring them into your world. This is also good for this new place that we're in called the internet, because now geo-boundaries have broken down. You are now no longer dependent on a 3 to 5 mile radius to amass enough prospect to make a business model work. Literally, it is worldwide now for you. And the model I'm going to show you, we actually ship product worldwide. You're going to break the value-cost trade-off. For those of you that are classically trained, I have a degree in marketing. You know, one of the first things you want to do is make price irrelevant. If price becomes your principal focus point in any selling proposition you're doing, you've lost the battle. So price needs to be irrelevant. The example I'm going to show you today is an extremely high premium price product. Align your whole system to activities in pursuit of this differentiation. That is called content focusing, message focusing. And this is something you have to bring all of your efforts into this hyper focus. And I'm going to show you some things that today, and I'll take some questions later, that shows you how oftentimes as you start straying into some of these new opportunities and things, they can actually be goal diffusion and work against your focusing of your whole systems. So this is a fine balance that has to be maintained amongst all these fundamental elements. And if you stray off and you get too far ahead in one, you'll abandon the other. So it takes an even balance. For those of you that don't know, Kim and Mauborn have written Blue Ocean Strategy. You can pick it up at Amazon. Great book. I don't recommend a lot of business books. I don't like hypey. Most of them are very hypey, and you walk away with a bunch of feel-good fuzzy-wuzzy and not much more. And I don't know about you, but I don't need that. So let's